Hello and welcome to Tae Kwon Do Training. I'll be your host for today's show, Bob Lemire. The instructor for today's show, Mr. Mike Bowen. Welcome to the show, Mike.
Thanks for having me, Bob. Thank you.
Mike is purple belt in Jiu-Jitsu. We're going to go over some very basic submissions. He calls them submissions. I really don't know much about Jiu-Jitsu, the language anyway. But anyway, what we're going to do is we're going to end up being on the ground. We both mic'd up. Mics in Jiu-Jitsu, I don't think are gonna do well because they'll flail. So we're gonna just show you what happens when we're on the ground. Very, very basic, all right, Jiu-Jitsu moves. So if you wanna join at home or watch the show and say, wow, the kids might like this, knowing certain moves for submission. Tell us a little about yourself there, Mike, and what you're up to.
Yeah, Bob, thanks for having me in. My name's Mike Bowen. I'm from Epsom, New Hampshire. I've been studying Jiu-Jitsu more regularly since 2017, so about like 5 years now. I dabbled in it a little bit, like unofficially, back in the early 2000s, like 3 or 4 years. Not really much on instructing. I started instructing slightly. I'm also in law enforcement, so I teach some defensive tactics, do Gracie survival tactics, which I really can't touch here for copyright reasons, but.
Right.
That's my intro into instruction, and it's pretty minimal. So I'm going to give it a shot here today, and we're going to start with something like Bob said, some really basic moves, just to keep the
nice and basic so that people at home
Yeah.
can. And believe me when I tell you, we didn't practice this at all. So he's going to tell me what to do, and I'm going to look like, what are you talking about? Well, once he says it, and he's going to explain it. We're going to go very basic on how you can do them at home with your children or maybe your spouse or whoever you want to train with. So what's one of the first ones we want to do, Mike?
So real quick, before we get going, I'm going to say what we're going to do is transition up into a couple of basic submissions. We're going to start with a guard pass, a basic guard pass. So Bob's going to have me in a closed guard. I'm going to pass his guard and get to side control position. From the side control position, I'll go over the dynamics of that. I'm going to switch and transition to a mount position, which is a more dominant position in Jiu-Jitsu. That's where I would be on top of Bob while he's on his back. From there, I'm going to go into a couple of submissions. We're going to go over an Americana lock, which is a key lock or shoulder restraint. And from there, I'll go over a cross collar choke. If we have time after that, just because you'll be in the mount position, we're going to try to show at least one escape from the mount if you are mounted. So
Okay, all right.
quick rundown of what we're going to do, and I'll give a demonstration of everything we're going to do before we actually get into it.
Beautiful, beautiful, nice. Where do we start?
What we're going to start is I'm going to have Bob get me in a closed guard, which is when he is on his back and he's got his legs wrapped around my waist. The purpose of the closed guard is if you're on the ground, a lot of other types of, like wrestling and whatnot, if you're on your back, you're in a bad position. And Jiu-Jitsu, if somebody has you on your back, you still have options from there. You got a good control point. If you're wrapping me up with your legs, you can use your hips to break my posture. You can break my posture down, grab my collar, and work into other effective sweeps.
All by leverage.
All leverage, yep, leverage and position. If you control the distance, you control the fight. So whether you're making more distance because you need it or closing it.
So a thin, I don't want to say weak, but a thinner guy against a heavier guy, if he knows what he's doing, he can still make some really nice moves.
If the technique is there, you shouldn't need strength at all to
just the leverage.
All
right, let's go. Where are we going?
Okay,
I'm going to be on my back.
I'm going to have you get on your back. A lot of time, obviously, Jiu-Jitsu is like 99% on the ground. So Bob's going to have his legs wrapped around my waist and close his guard up there. So right now, he's got me in what's called the closed guard position. From here, he would want he can use his hips to break me down and get me to post out. I start getting sloppy with my arms. He can capitalize on that. I don't want to be like this in this position. This is a bad spot for me. I want to get good posture. So what I do is I sit back.
Ooh. You break it up,
Try to keep those closed.
All right, so keep them closed.
So I'm trying to get nice and straight here. I keep my ears in line with my shoulders with my hips and above my knees. Sit back. Get a good grip here. This controls his torso. So what I'm doing is grabbing his gi at the lapels and turning to give me a good grip so he can't strip it as easily. And then I need to control his hips. What I do for that is I take this hand here, I grab onto his pants by his hips and put my forearm parallel with his thigh. So I can now control his hips. He can't push his hips up as easily,
Right.
and he can't sit up. Like, try to sit up and grab my collar.
Nope, nothing.
And that goes down to the solar plex area. So if he does that, that's really uncomfortable for him.
Yeah.
So right now what I want to do is I want to get out of this position. I don't want to be in his guard. My first goal is to open his guard. Basic move. I bear down here. I take my right knee and drive it into his spine. I push down on his right thigh with my left arm and move back like that. Once I move back here, I need to isolate this leg because he can immediately start moving to different options and whatnot, sweeps or anything. So I'm going to staple it with this leg and slide it over and staple down. I don't want to bring it out like this because then he can wrap me into a half guard and send me flying the other way. So I'm using this leg as a staple to isolate there. From here, I'm trying to dive down and control his head. So I'm coming down, getting head control, back step with that leg, bring the knees up, and I now have him in what's called side control.
Wow.
So I'll show him that in like full speed now.
Sure. Okay. Let me regroup, make sure everything's not breaking here. All
Nothing,
right.
wires aren't dangling off anywhere.
We got wires all over the place. All right, here we go.
Okay.
All right, so now where would my hands be? I mean, I'd be trying to grab you,
your
right?
hands,
I'd be doing this.
You're here.
All right, I'm here.
Something you want to do, you've been grabbing a collar, grab my sleeve. So if I've got you gripped here,
Right.
you want to strip this grip. Because if you can strip this grip and control this arm,
Yeah.
that takes away from me. Now I need to try to get that arm back.
Right.
Another thing I forgot to mention, if you're in the guard or even on the ground,
Right.
you want to keep your elbows tight. Because if I'm holding him
Me
here,
too?
you too,
Me
yeah.
Okay.
Like, anytime you're doing this,
Yeah.
you're opening your arms up for different attacks.
Right.
So if you're just flailing your arms around, I'm going to be able to grab them and put you into
Okay,
an arm bar
yeah.
or anything of the sort. So full speed here. I'm controlling the hip. I'm controlling the torso. Move the knee. Push back. Slide over. Back step. Side control.
Now, when you had me in that position right there, and I can't move, so you have a referee.
Yep.
I'm just trying to get the rules straight for the people. You have a referee, so I can't move. If I can't move and you're in that position and you're laying on top of me, I can't really get out.
Yeah.
And now,
correct.
what do I tap out, or did they just say?
Well, you can. I mean, there are escapes from side control. That's where you would be trying to.
I'd still be trying from that position.
Absolutely, absolutely. And there are many ways. You can bridge escape. You can shrimp escape. There are ways to get out of that.
Out of that.
Obviously, we could be here for hours.
Oh,
going
yeah,
over
yeah.
all
No,
that,
I
so-
just wanted it to be as basic, the most basic you could give me.
Yes, yeah. So I'm just showing this.
Without us rolling around and ripping these mics up. And I don't know what I'm doing anyway when I'm down there. So
Oh, yeah.
we're in a different world. So that's, is that one of the first ones you'd be taught? Something like that? Or that
First
whole
things you're
submission?
learning like movements like shrimping drills and things that are like equivalent to like a warm-up, which
Right.
give you the basic functions and
Right.
basic movements of jiu-jitsu. But that is a super basic guard pass. I mean, everybody starts off in the guard and you need to get out of it. So
And when you start, okay, say you're just walked in. I
Yeah.
just walked in off the street. Where do they get you learning the stances first, or the rolls? Or
you
what?
mix right like where I train at New England Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu in Concord.
Right.
There's a all levels class, which
Right.
is the first class. I mean, they offer them several times a
Right.
week. But you mix right in. They usually pair lower belts with higher belts to kind of guide them through.
They're helping you out.
And they go through and they do like the basic movements of it all. Now,
And they want you to do it.
yeah, and another option that I know, like for a while, the place I did went to had like a solo. It was basically when COVID happened. They were
Okay,
doing like
yeah.
solo movements.
Right,
so I
right.
did a lot of these solo
Right, okay,
movements
yeah, yeah.
just to get the basics
And
down.
just doing same thing.
And those are mimicking a lot of warm-ups. So
Right.
they'll incorporate the basic movements into the warm-ups. So
Okay.
you're actually learning the basic movements while you're warming up.
Right.
So,
So I'm on my back.
yep.
All right. And then I wrap my legs around you,
Mm-hmm.
maybe where I grabbed you or whatever. That's called the guard position?
That's a closed guard.
a closed.
Yes,
So
it's-
me on my back is a closed guard,
Yes.
and you on your knees.
I am in your guard, and
You're
I
in-
don't want to be there.
Okay, so now how did that happen? I mean, so we both start this way, and then one guy shoots it?
You can shoot, you can do takedowns. We
Right.
can't. I mean, there are no pads.
No, you
here,
don't
so
wanna
I don't
do
wanna
it
play
here,
those.
right,
But,
right.
but yeah, you
Yeah.
can most definitely. I mean, there are endless amounts of
You're
takedowns
right,
you
right,
can
right,
do.
right.
And some people, I know, like a lot of places, like when they start and you start rolling, you'll start from your knees. So you have two people on the mat.
Oh, so you start on your knees.
They start like this, slap hands, bump fists, and just go into the roll.
Right.
And you can pull guard right off the bat.
Right.
So if I'm a little bit more dominant on this guy here, I can just grab his collar and pull him into my guard.
Right.
And now he's going to try to get out of that.
Right. So the strength would matter in certain spots.
It can. It absolutely can.
But then, rank, no, not just rank, but ability and technique that you know.
If you've got two people equal rank, equal ability, and one's a little bit stronger than the other,
Right.
and they want to start to exert that strength, they can
Right.
muscle through it. But
Right.
technique is
Yeah,
the key.
I imagine that, yeah. All right, so that was pretty good. That wasn't too bad.
Okay.
I got the, wait, give us one more. Let's
All right, so that was escaping. That was a guard pass.
Right.
That was a low guard pass. There are different types of guard passes. You can do
Okay.
standing guard
Yeah.
passes, all that. Now, what that position I got into was a side control. Now, I'm building us up to get to the mount.
Right,
So if you want to lay back down, and I'll just get into the side control position here. So I just
So
did the
now
guard
my
pass.
knees would be up like this, yeah? Oh, they'd be down, or does it matter?
So if you're here,
Right.
and I've got you, I'm controlling your head.
Right,
I'm controlling your arm. I've got
Right.
arm head control here. What I'm doing is I'm taking my right elbow and pinching your hip.
Right.
And my right knee is pinching your hip. So I'm controlling your hip movement. And this knee here
Okay,
is here.
yeah.
So I'm trying to keep you from moving. You want to move and you want to create space
Right.
to be able to get a knee in.
let's do this. Let's turn this way. I got a feeling, because I don't know if they can actually see. So
Okay.
we're here.
So we're here.
Yep. You got
I've
me
got
there.
you to the cross face there, here,
Pinched
and there.
in. Yeah.
So this is basic side control. There are different types. I like to do an active one where I sprawl my hips out like this and bear down so I can really get a lot of weight on there.
Right.
But this is the basic, and now from here, I could start working submissions from here, or I could get to the mount.
And now, most likely, I'd try to be grabbing you, or I'd be trying to get away.
Or to get onto your side to try to get a
Okay,
knee in to
right. But
escape
your thing
from
is
this.
so I can't move. You're trying to make me.
Yes, I want to keep you from
You
doing
want to keep
that.
me from moving. So
And
believe me, right now I can't move.
One
too
good
much.
defense you could do is take this knee here and put it into my hip. Because what I'm doing to try to do here, I'm trying to gain control here
Right.
and here
Right.
so that I can pop up and put a knee on your stomach
Yeah.
and pull up. But if you can use this leg and keep it active,
Yeah.
you can shut that down.
I can just keep
That's
pushing.
it.
it.
Right now, it's
Right,
going to be
yeah.
tougher for me to do that.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Easy enough. Yeah.
It
So I
makes it a little
wouldn't.
more difficult.
Right.
A lot of times, if I want to pass, I'll kind of come over here and stuff
Oh,
it,
you're cheating. Right.
step
yeah,
over,
yeah.
and get into the mount.
Right. 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 Wow.
And
Wow. Very nice.
that leads me to here, the mount.
Right. We're back where we
And
started, yeah.
this is a really dominant position to be in.
Right. Wow. That's we'll do it in slow motion again, just
Okay.
so that, you know. A lot of times, even myself, I talk so fast in Tae Kwon Do, thinking everyone understands what I'm talking about,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like, you know it, and
Yes.
and I know you realize no one else knows it, but even when you're saying to me, I'm like, it's just going by fast. You know what I'm saying? Which is, and that's basic. You're giving us some basic stuff. This
Oh,
is,
yeah.
this is great. That's great. I can see where there's a lot of training, a lot of doing the same move over and over and
A
over.
lot of muscle memory, and it takes a long time to absorb. A lot of people get discouraged because you start and you literally feel like you're drinking out of a fire hose. You just can't
Well,
absorb all the information, and
Right.
if you're not going in 3-4 times a week, by the time you come in the following week, it's half of it's gone. So
And your body, like any sport, your body has to get used to that. Because I can see if I was to do, I know we're on a hard floor, all right? But even with mats, I could see how sore someone would get.
Oh,
And-
yes.
And,
Oh,
and if
yes.
someone saying, all right, you try to get out and you try to get out and you're pressing down on my chest and everything.
oh, yeah. I go home twice a week covered in bruises. Bruises, waking up, hips hurt, and it's all, it's good for you. It builds character.
Mike, before we started, I had my normal just T-shirt on because he goes, that ain't gonna work. He says, here, put this on. This is Mike's, and this thing is heavy.
Yeah,
This
that
thing
one's
is-
pretty heavy. This is a lighter material. It's nice. I mean, it's a little bit more lightweight.
Yeah. But
That
still,
one-
compared to the Aggies,
Because these are getting grabbed and
these are
pulled
getting,
on.
yeah, they'd get
this-
ripped off in one.
Exactly, yeah.
So I was saying to myself before, I could wear the T-shirt that I wear, but I couldn't wear that.
I mean,
you'd have me all wrapped up.
Everything
in my
that we're doing here too, there are no gi variations. So,
Right.
Because obviously, a lot of this can apply to self-defense as
That's right,
well.
yeah,
and
yeah.
we live in New England, so I mean,
Right.
9 months of the year, people having sweatshirts. So I mean,
That's
this
right,
could easily
right.
mimic
Yeah,
a
yeah.
sweatshirt.
Right.
But you have those 3 months with summertime,
That's
or
right,
some
yeah.
people wearing T-shirts.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have to improvise
Oh
and
yeah, oh yeah, that's for sure.
figure
yeah.
something out. But there
Wrap
are
that
no
T-shirt
gi
around.
variations to do
All right.
most of what we're doing here.
All right, let's do that same move again. All right, I got to remember what we did, but
Okay.
am I on my back? or
Let's start from the beginning. And I'll bring us right to getting to the mount this time.
Should I be this way? I'm just trying to so that the cameras can see
Yeah,
the
so-
exact moves. This way here.
Yeah,
All right.
so you're gonna get me in your guard.
All right. See, I learned the guard already.
So I'm gonna establish my grips.
So you got a grip there.
I got a grip.
All
I
right,
got this
now,
here.
what's I'm
I
most
have bad
guy-
posture. Like me being bent over like
Yeah,
this is
is
bad for
bad.
me.
All
So
right.
I want to be up
You-
like
all right.
this here.
But
That way
I
there-
would try to keep you down. No.
Yeah, you could use your hips and try to pull me down.
Right.
Another thing you can do is like grab here, almost like
Right.
grab, and just boom, boom,
Right.
bump that as
Yeah.
you're pulling down with your hips.
Right.
And if you can keep me down here, that's a good day for you.
And now how would you get out of this? Now I got you.
So if you're gripping onto me, I start to strip grip. So I'm gonna grab here.
Oh, wow.
If I can control this
Took that
arm,
right away,
now
yeah.
I can go into like more of a standing
yeah.
pass. But that's
Right.
that's getting
Right.
going down a rabbit hole.
Yeah, yeah.
So the basic ones we're working here is here,
Right. Yep.
knee here.
Back there.
I'm looking
Now,
up as
right.
I come back.
Pocket right out there, yeah. And then you
Staple
wow.
here. Back step. Side control.
Wow. Yeah.
Now, side control, I'm trying to keep his hips from moving so he can't get on his side and shrimp out of this. I'm going to control the belt line here. I'm going to grab the belt and grab the back of the collar and the gi. Slide my knee up and over
Jesus.
and come into a mount position.
I'm tapping out.
With mount, you want to be down low to control it. I mean, if I want good control here, what I'm doing is I'm controlling your head
Right.
and I'm dropping my hips on your hips.
Right.
I'm going to post out with this hand. I'm going to hook with this one and just control like that.
Yeah.
That way there it turns me into equivalent of, you have a sheet of plywood laying on you, you're going to bench press it off real easy.
Right.
If you have a waterbed mattress on you, it's,
You're pushing all around.
yeah, you can get it off, but it's going to be real difficult.
See, because you have me, I mean, obviously I have no, but you have me by, I would say at least 25, 30 pounds.
Yeah,
And that weight on me, on
Oh,
my
yeah.
chest, is
Yep.
like, wow, you just want to breathe.
yeah. Yep.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah. And
That's the whole thing. A lot of jiu-jitsu is just you gotta kind of get comfortable being uncomfortable. And you just get yourself in those spots where it really, really sucks.
Yeah.
And realize you're not going to die. You can still breathe, and
well, you
makes you push through.
always have someone watching, either
Mm-hmm.
your competition or ref,
Yep.
all right? So that, and if you want to tap, it's tapping out. No, what's tapping out? How do you do that?
So that's like
So
when
sorry.
somebody gets a submission on you, or if you just want to give up.
Right.
Usually, you want to try to tap your partner. 'Cause if they feel it, then.
Oh, you want to tap them?
Sometimes you can. Sometimes you tap the mat.
You
Whatever.
tap whatever your hand is loose.
If all your hands are tied up, you use your foot. You just yell tap.
Okay.
Whatever
All right.
you have to do
All
to
right.
get that
That's
point
right. Yeah.
across.
And then you're
because you
done.
don't want to end up getting your arm broken or your knee popped
Well, that's
off.
what it is, right? So you're the aggressor. You're doing well, and you see the tap. You've
Yep.
got to let them go. Or,
Well, yeah.
You're a
You
marked
got to
man.
respect that. Otherwise, I mean,
People are going to get hurt.
you got to be humble and you have to treat your training
Yeah,
partners
right.
Because everybody's going in to better themselves.
To learn. No, but I'm even talking about competition. Like I see
Yeah.
the MMA fighting and stuff, and
Yeah.
I don't watch it much. But if someone was tapping and the other guy just wasn't, the ref must just pull him right
But yeah,
off.
the
Say,
ref will do that.
Okay.
And I know, I mean, I've competed like lower level local tournaments, and
Yeah.
I mean, my theory is I got to go to work. Nobody's paying me to do this stuff, so I'm going to tap soon because
Right.
if I
Right.
get a
And when you
broken
get,
arm,
you know, you want to learn as much as you can
Yeah.
and not be hurt. And then as I was telling my students, and that's the main thing here, the main thing we do here, if you're hurt, you can't go to work or you can't train the next day.
exactly.
Your idea is to train every day if you can, or every other
And
day.
you don't
whenever.
want to go in and hurt your training partners either. I mean,
That's right. That's right.
And this stuff this puts a toll on your body. If you go 100% every day,
Right.
you're not going to last long.
No, no. And it's the same in Tae Kwon Do. When we throw kicks,
Yep.
if I see an open, I'm not taking your head off.
Yeah, no.
And I'm not going to take your rib out. If I did that, there'd be no students.
Exactly. And,
And never mind, you don't want to hurt anybody. It's all respect and for the love of the art.
yep.
For the love of the
I
art.
mean, I've been tapped by lower belts, higher belts, all that. I mean, that's how you learn. If you go in thinking you're just going to dominate everybody in training,
Oh, no,
then you're
no.
not
You don't
learning
know
a
what
thing.
you're doing. You're
Yeah.
gonna get-
Yeah,
gonna
you
get
need to go
nailed.
in and
Yeah.
be humble and accept that you have
Accept-
something to learn from everyone there.
Except you have to learn. I like that. I like that. And all right, let's
All right, so we got to the
look
mount.
at the time. There's 7 minutes left.
Right, look at that. So we got to the
Quickest
mount.
half hour in the world.
We got to the mount position. So
Right.
now what we'll go into is we'll get to the mount and we'll go over 2 submissions real
Okay.
quick: American lock and a cross collar choke.
All right.
Both
That'll
relatively
be the
easy.
last because we got 6 minutes, 7 minutes. What do I do
Just
now?
to make sure we get that, we'll just lay down. I'll just get right to the mount position.
So I lay down again? All right.
So we just went through that whole other transition,
Right.
and I've got you in the mount. I want it the higher up in the mount, the better for me, because
Right.
if I'm back here, you can buck your hips and maybe
Okay. All right. Yep.
if I'm up here,
I can't.
you use your hips. I don't really care
You
about
don't
that.
care. Right. Right. Right on your chest. More or
So
less on your
if
chest.
his arms are like up and about and moving around, I want to try to isolate his arms. So if I can, the American lock, I'll do it real easily here. I want to get this arm, I'm going to attack this arm down to the ground. I don't want to use my arms bending like this,
Right.
because my arm strength against your arm strength, you might be able to win.
Right.
If I get this arm straight and just use my body, I
Your
don't want to
whole
smash
body,
your
huh?
watch, but
Yeah.
body weight down,
Yeah.
turn your watch here,
Yeah.
pin the arm, my elbow goes to his ear. I have like a monkey grip over his wrist to control that. You don't want to be like pinching or anything like that. You want to have good solid control there. This arm comes up. I like to scoot it so it's going palm under so I can slide it under better. Then it turns over and I grab my wrist. So right now I've got his arm locked into like a figure
Oh, I
four
could feel
on
my,
there.
my shoulder and my it would pop if you want to
Now,
put a little power.
I'm going to explain the tap to you right now.
Yeah.
So when you feel pressure to where
Right.
you don't want to take anymore,
yeah.
you tap my shoulder with your free hand.
This way. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. Oh,
So
yeah.
from here,
Oh, I can already feel it just being right there. I feel my upper shoulder.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
And these ones, and when you're training again, I put these on real slow because
Yeah.
everybody has a different threshold of pain.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Some people have tight muscles.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So from here, what I'm doing is I'm picking up my right elbow and I'm sliding his arm
Oh yeah.
back.
Yeah. I wouldn't want to even play with that. Yeah. Wow.
And you can get that from just about anywhere. I mean, I could be down here, it would just have your head control. And if I can work this arm up like that and trap it from here, now my elbow's on the wrong side, I just bring it over
Okay.
and slide it in,
Yeah.
then apply the pressure
Oh yeah. Oh yeah,
And
for
boom.
sure. Wow.
and tap.
And it's the whole shoulder up here. It's
Mm-hmm.
it's the whole shoulder, the whole collarbone. The
Yes.
You pop that shoulder out, you're gone.
And you've got some like really lean guys that are super flexible that you can just crank and crank and crank and I mean,
Yeah,
some
but I
people
could see
double-jointed.
if someone did not want to give up, how you could just pop it before their
Yes.
their pain threshold.
Yeah, if they can take that pain. But that's also an easy way. I mean, law enforcement-wise, a real easy way to control them is to use that type of a lock, and
Right,
you
right.
can get them over onto their stomach that
Wow.
are affecting arrest.
Wow. And like I said, this is uncomfortable. I got a watch on too. I don't want to take that watch and slam it. But on the ground, you're doing it. We're just doing it on the, you're doing it on the ground.
Yeah.
The comfort. I mean, we're talking pavement
Oh, yeah.
or whatever. If you're,
Oh yeah, pay. That's a whole nother world.
oh my God, I can see the pain. And you
Obviously,
I
in
give
real
up.
life, you don't want to take it to the ground if you don't have to because
No, I
there's
understand.
pavement and you hurt. And
Right, right. And do you? We got 3 minutes left. Do you have anything standing up that you could, like, if I? Right, so
Actually, I wanted to hit the cross collar choke. If you don't
3
mind.
minutes.
We got that.
Okay.
Get back on your back there. So this one here is a cross collar choke. Now, this is where we use the collar of the gi. And this is a carotid restraint. It's a carotid blood choke.
Yeah.
Everything we do is cutting off the blood flow to the carotid arteries. Once you've impeded the carotid arteries, you have like 7 to 8 seconds before you lose consciousness.
Yeah.
So what I'm doing is I'm using this hand to open the gi, and I'm feeding this one in, thumb to his neck. I'm trying to get as deep as I can so that I can get this rested against your carotid.
Yeah.
If I'm doing both palms up, which is what I'm doing here, I take this hand and slide under to the other side and do the same thing.
Yeah. Oh, I can feel it.
Now from here, I don't use my elbows or anything. All I'm doing is turning my wrists in.
Oh, yeah. Wow. Yeah. Yeah, you don't want me to
tap it?
pass out. Yeah.
Oh,
I'm tapping.
Yeah, tapping.
We got 3 minutes
I
left.
don't knock
Hey,
you out
Bob's
there.
not getting up.
Yeah.
Oh, I can feel it. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, it's a super simple motion. It's like, so I'm coming up here,
Right.
deep like that,
Yeah.
far back the collar as I can get the best. This hand's coming under.
And you could do it standing up if you wanted to.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. Wow, just
And
tight
just,
it in.
and just turn my thumbs into each other, and that
Wow.
cuts off the carotid arteries.
That's nice. That's a good one.
Yeah, and they're different.
Yeah.
I mean, you can do both palms up, palm up,
And
palm
like you
down.
say, 7 or 8 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden,
And you can
pass
do
out.
those from the guard. You can do them from just about any position.
You weren't even putting pressure, and I'm going, I better not pass out on the floor here, because
That's why you're supposed to tap. Huh?
that's about all the time we got. But no, I told you, it was the fastest 30 minutes.
It goes pretty quick.
Oh,
I'd say
yeah.
so, yeah.
And I mean, we feel like we could do almost 10 different techniques. We did 3 or 4.
Yep.
And those are basic. What's nice is people can watch this show over and over. It comes on about 4, 5, 6 times a week.
Okay.
And over, and it's on DATV. You can Google DATV episodes. And if you really want to watch, this is, as he says, basic. Go over the moves that he just showed you. And now you've got a couple and believe me, they work well.
Oh, absolutely.
They work well.
absolutely.
I'm a little sore. I'm
The
not
simple
used-
ones are the best ones.
Yeah.
You get the simple ones down and master them.
Oh, my
they're
God,
Better
yeah.
than all the fancy stuff you learn.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks for having me.
I appreciate that. Hope you enjoyed the show. Till next time, have fun and train hard.